Hi, I'm down here, but I'm gonna kind of stay out of the picture because I want to show you some cheap and inexpensive ways to create or to make a palette to use for your paints that will work, and then I'll give you some more expensive ones. So I'm going to start off with this is just a piece of cardboard and some freezer paper that I taped with some of the clear packing tape, and that way you can just paint. This is mainly to be used if you're going to be putting a little paint and not really planning on using it the next day. And it's got the shiny surface, so it won't just seep in and go away. If you're using acrylics though, the acrylics that you put on here will dry. So if you're planning on having a painting session and you put your paints on here, and let's say you need them to dry 15 minutes and you need to walk away and come back, spray it with a little water and come back and they should be okay. So that's just one really inexpensive way. Another way that, and of course, if you want to use a big piece of cardboard, then if you want to make sure you maybe gesso it white and then put a big piece of plastic, this is thick plastic over it, you can tape it on the back. That way you can put your paints on. Same thing here, if you put them on, they will dry overnight. They'll probably dry, unless they're real thick, later in the day. But if you're just having one painting session and you want to put paints on this heavy piece of plastic, then that will work. At the end of the day, if you are through and you still have paint left over, you can peel them off and they become paint skins. I saved paint skins. This was my main container for paint skins. And as you can see, it's got lots of them. They become texture for other paintings. And that'll be another video. But that's what I do if I've got leftover acrylic paint, I use them for acrylic skins. Okay, that was a big piece of plastic and a big piece of cardboard. What I'm going to do here is show you, this is just a small piece of cardboard and a box that it fits in. I have no idea if this works, but this might be a temporary solution and you can try it. So this fits in here, so you can either use freezer paper to wrap around it like the other one, or palette paper. This is something you can buy at the Michael's or one of the craft stores. So the palette paper can fit around here and you can tape it on the back side however you want. And then when you put your paints on here, and let's say you are walking away for the night and you're going to come back to it tomorrow, spray it with water, maybe put it inside of a box, enclose it, see if that lasts overnight. I'm going to test that myself and see if that works, but right now I have no clue. Okay, the other two options that, let me back up. Here's another option that really works well. If you have a piece of glass, and this is a big piece of glass, this is not plexiglass. I've tried plexiglass and it does not work well for me. I like the glass better for the surface, and I just put a piece of foam board that had pretty much white, and you can tell I've used it, so it's kind of scratched up a little bit, but not bad. And then I duct tape the glass to the foam board all the way around. That way you don't have the glass cutting you. So that's a huge palette to use. And again, at the end of the day, if you're through and you want to scrape up your paints for your acrylic skins, you can use one of these to just scrape it off. You might have to spray it with a little water to scrape it off and then save those. So that's one way. All right, this is another option, and this one I use a lot because if I'm, say, only painting once a week or once every who knows how often, then I will put my paint in here and try to close the lid as best I could and spray it with water before I close it. But you can see this palette I've used quite a few times. You can buy the yellow, kind of a cushy, I don't even know what kind of material it is. It's one that comes with the Masterson palette or you can buy it separately, but it's a yellow cushy piece of whatever that you spray with water, and then you put your palette paper. I buy the big ones, the Stay Wet palette paper, but make sure it's wet and then the palette paper on top. Now I found another option. I just tried this one day, and this one is all messy. I'll peel it back and let you see. This is a piece of, my mind just went blank. Whatever that is. Sorry, my mind went blank. It's just the, pretty bad when you don't even know what you're using. Anyway, I buy these. It's cheaper than buying the other, and if you can see, it's just a, I don't know what it's called. My mind went blank. Anyway, I put that down, spray it with water really well, and then put the palette paper on top. So this is just another palette that I use, and so I'll spray that with water really good. I'll put this palette paper down, spray it with water, and then I'll put my paints on. And because this doesn't have a lid, what I found is I used just an old canvas board that I didn't like the painting, so I just, when I'm through at the end of the day, I'll put that on and put something heavy on it so it'll hold it tight, and those will last for a while too. But make sure the whatever that is it's pretty bad. Anyway, make sure it's wet, and this is wet, and spray it. When I had these on here and I sprayed them at the end of the day, some of them have dried, some of them have not. If you're using liquid acrylics, they will probably dry quicker. Some of them are still something I can use. If you're using medium or heavy body paint, it depends on how thick it is. It might last for a few days or a week or two, who knows, inside one of these. So this just gives you some different options for palettes to choose from. And someday I'll figure out what that's called. It's anyway, we're not perfect and have a lot on my mind, so I just went blank. Anyway, hope that helps to help you save some money on trying to figure out how to use a palette and the different options that I have found. Thank you. See you later.